you want your student, friend slash fighter to be more, to improvise. So it's more realistic. So if I just give him the opportunities, that's not exactly how he's going to flow. So if I just hold up the pads that I want him to hit, that's, I'm dictating his style. But I want some of his style to come into it. What that means is, yeah, I could hold something up, but he can go somewhere else. He can just improvise. And then it turns into, it's more interactive. Sometimes I might hold, let's say I hold for a punch and he went for a knee, I'll just improvise and if I see it and catch it. Or maybe he'll just sweep me, or maybe he'll, I'll hold for a jab and instead he fakes and teeps. So you can do that. Of course you have to build that up in increments, because you don't want to hurt yourselves and you're not really getting anything out of it. There shouldn't be any mistakes. It should be flawless, like no one getting hurt. That means it's a mastery level. That's what you want to get at. The first level, to get them thinking and not relying on me dictating what to throw, to get them thinking on their own, to get them using their brain. This will be probably the first and the easiest. Always start with the easiest and then add to it. All right, so now we'll do random pads, but anytime you can throw a right punch to my belly. So you just mix it up. All right. Yeah. All right. So now it's unlocking his brain to start thinking for himself. See how there was a little hesitation, a little pause, because it's like, oh, I got to think too. That's what you want to get to. Now let's add just a tiny bit more. Let's say inside leg kick anytime, and a punch or anything here. You can do knee, you can do inside leg kick, whatever you want. Hop, 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 hop. Beautiful. So now that's becoming more realistic. So yeah, now he's thinking for himself. He's looking for other opportunities, other openings. Doesn't have to be what I'm showing. Doesn't have to be what I'm giving. It shouldn't be. So now now I've added another layer to the pad work, where now, he's got the stuff I'm showing him, but then he's scanning at the same time. What else is open? Boom, boom, boom. Another good thing to do is sometimes you could practice your fakes. So let's say I hold up for a jab and I'll fake, and if your coach goes like that, that means, oh, you tricked him. So now you can practice your tricks. Then the next level after that is the coach fights back. And if unless you're really good at sparring or you've fought and you're good at pads, this isn't going to work well. So the coach fights back, and then I can simulate any style. If I want to simulate a pressure fighter and he has to get out of that, I could do that. If I want to be tricky and evasive, I could do that. Also, if I want to practice my own, like make it more fun for myself and practice some techniques on my own, I'll do it in pads. You don't want to be passive. You don't need to be passive. You can be active. You can make it beneficial and valuable to yourself. So if you're doing pad work all day, practice some of your stuff. And just get better yourself as well. In case you didn't know, because a lot of people don't, this is kind of like an etiquette, like we touch gloves, like in a fight where they touch gloves. It's kind of a sign of respect, and also like, I'm ready, let's go. It's good to do it with pads too. We'll just do normal pads. We'll go slow, but hit hard, and I'll start off by throwing basic stuff. So let's check out the checks. We counter off a check. Bop. So I'm not just doing it for the sake of doing it. So two things. So I'll kick. He went slightly off balance. I held the pad for a counter. If it didn't come within a couple seconds, I'll put it down, just to communicate to him, you weren't there. You missed the opportunity. So then they're like, they get frustrated. Damn, that means next time I should have stood my ground so I can get that pad. So I can get that pad before it disappears. If you just hold it there waiting for them, then they don't get that message. But if I just go, gone, you didn't get it. So then the next time, they'll want to get it. They'll know that there's a time limit, because that's simulating a fight. The next thing, then I realized, oh, okay, he was off balance. What if I kick him harder just to let him know how really off balance he is and showing him how far away from the pad he's at. So you don't have to talk. The less you talk, the more you internalize and the more intuitive it becomes. Maybe come to think, I don't know, maybe I think like that because I learned Muay Thai with no English. My trainer, when he came to Australia, spoke no English and there was no Google Translate. So everything was taught to me with no words. And I do the same, and it gets a lot of, it gets the results I want. And it makes sense too. So that's one example of elements that you can bring into the pad work. I'm challenging him, I'm testing him, I'm seeing what the weaknesses are. And I'm teaching him in a way that he can transfer and it's realistic. So if I kick him and he's off balance and I just give him a small opportunity, that correlates to a fight. That's similar to a fight. So start thinking in that way. If you think of every component, making it as close to a fight as possible, I'm not talking about power, but I'm talking about like what realistically happens, then you'll be on the right track to do the right things in everything that you do. So I don't have to give you the answer for every single detail, do it this way, do it that way. Just a general principle that I just explained, you can figure out most of the problems and how to do certain things on your own.